Welcome to the Deep Dive. We unpack complex topics, pull out the key nuggets for you, and today we're plunging right into a massive football match, Al Hilal versus Fluminense. Our goal, go way beyond just the score. We want to uncover the human drama, the tactics, the surprising facts behind this really incredible game. Okay, so let's get straight into it. This match, it didn't just kick off with a whistle. There was this really palpable emotion right from the start. We have to talk about the context, specifically around two of Al Hilal's Portuguese players, Conceição and Ruben Neves. I mean, just hours before this huge game, they got the news, the absolutely devastating news, that their close friend Jota had passed away. Can you even imagine that?
It's just hard to fathom, really, the emotional weight they must have been carrying onto that pitch.
Exactly. And during the minute of silence for Jota, and his brother Andre Silva too, you could see it. The grief was raw. Conceição, Ruben Neves. They were visibly struggling, trying to hold back tears, clearly deeply upset. And this wasn't just, a teammate. Ruben Neves and Jota were incredibly close from their Wolf days, a really strong bond. Conceição was a close friend too.
Yeah, it puts things into perspective, doesn't it? It's fascinating in a way, how something so deeply personal, this kind of tragedy, hits athletes right on the biggest stage. They're expected to perform, to be professionals, but they're human beings dealing with immense emotional strain.
Right. It forces them to perform under this unbelievable pressure.
The mental fortitude required there is just extraordinary. It goes way beyond just physical prep.
So thinking about that, how did that emotional weight, how did it actually play out on the field when the game started? Did you see an impact?
Well, it's always tough to say definitively, isn't it? Every player reacts differently. But look, Conceição and Neves were involved in that sequence that led to Fluminense's first goal. You have to wonder if maybe that emotional burden contributed, even slightly. A moment's hesitation, a split-second decision affected. It's possible.
It's impossible to fully compartmentalize that kind of grief, especially in such a high-pressure environment.
Absolutely not. It just adds another huge layer of difficulty to an already massive challenge.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit. Talk about Fluminense. Because they came into this game on a real high, right? Their performance throughout the tournament had been, well, incredible.
Truly impressive.
Yeah, think about it. They drew 0-0 with Borussia Dortmund in the group stage, no easy feat. And then, that standout result, beating Inter Milan, the Champions League finalists, 2-0, and keeping a clean sheet.
That Inter result really made people sit up and take notice.
For sure. It wasn't just luck. It showed real strategy, real belief.
And that connects to their whole philosophy, doesn't it? Fluminense aren't just winning. They have a very clear, very effective way of playing. They're known for discipline, a really organized structure, very compact defending, that low block they play.
Can you just quickly explain what that low block means tactically?
Sure. Essentially, the whole team drops back deep into their own half when they don't have the ball. They form tight lines, often two banks of players, leaving very little space between defenders and midfielders. The aim is to deny the opposition space in dangerous areas near their goal. Make it really hard to break them down.
Got it. So really defensively solid.
Exactly. Anchored by guys like Thiago Silva, obviously hugely experienced, marshalling that defense, and Bernal, the midfielder, sitting just in front acting like a shield. They show incredible tactical patience. They're happy to let the other team have the ball in non-threatening areas, absorb pressure, and just wait.
Wait for the mistake.
Precisely. Wait for the opposition to make a mistake, overcommit, leave a gap, and then they pounce. Very disciplined.
Okay, so that's Fluminense. But then you had Al Hilal. They weren't exactly lacking confidence either, were they?
Not at all. They had their own impressive tournament story building.
Yeah, they were in excellent form. Remember that draw against Real Madrid? Maybe just a draw, but the way they played got a lot of attention. Showed they could compete.
Right, it turned heads.
But the big one, the really significant one, was beating Manchester City in the round of 16.
Oh, absolutely. That was huge.
A massive talking point globally, and a huge boost for the Saudi project in football, as people call it.
Yeah, that City win was a real statement. It showed the investment is yielding results on the biggest stages. It changes perceptions.
Definitely. So here's the setup, right? Two teams, both flying high, top of their game. But one team, Al Hilal, carrying this unique, heavy emotional weight into what was always going to be a tactical fight.
It really set the stage for something compelling, more than just football.
And the first half played out, well, pretty much like you'd expect from that tactical setup. A real chess match.
Both went with a 5-2-3 system.
5 defenders, 2 midfielders, 3 attackers. Very solid, defensively minded.
And because they mirrored each other, they effectively canceled each other out initially. Very few chances, very cagey.
A patient start. Lots of probing, feeling each other out.
Yeah, when you have that symmetrical defensive setup, space is just at a premium, especially centrally. So the question becomes, who blinks first? Who makes that crucial mistake?
And Fluminense, with their patient style, were probably quite happy with that dynamic.
You'd think so. They were waiting for that opening, and they got it.
Talk us through that first goal.
Right, so it starts with a cross from the wingback, Xavier, out on the right side. Good ball in. Ruben Neves gets his head to it, but the clearance, it unfortunately drops right back into a dangerous area in the box. And then Conceição, trying to do the right thing, trying to prevent a corner, attempts to clear it, but he clears it back into the middle of the box.
Oh no, right into trouble.
Exactly. And Marcelo pounces, just seizes the opportunity. Incredible composure, beautiful finish. Completely wrong foots Milinkovic-Savic. Fluminense in lead.
Wow. Just a really unfortunate sequence for Al Hilal, especially given the emotional context for those two players involved.
A gut punch for them, no doubt.
Then, just before halftime, another massive moment. Al Hilal thought they had a lifeline.
The penalty shout?
Yeah, penalty initially given from a cross. Referee points to the spot. Al Hilal fans go wild.
You felt the momentum might shift right there.
But then VAR steps in. The referee goes to the monitor, takes a long look.
The dreaded review.
And overturns it. Decides it was just proper football contact, a fair challenge, no penalty.
Huge moment. You could just feel the air go out of the Al Hilal side of the stadium.
And even if the decision is correct in the end, those moments, they can totally swing the psychology of the game, can't they?
Oh, massively. A goal there changes the halftime team talks, the whole feeling. It was a big blow psychologically for Al Hilal heading into the break.
Now, amid all this, we have to talk about an individual standout. Fabio, Fluminense's goalkeeper.
The evergreen Fabio.
He's 44 years old.
Incredible. 44! And playing at this level?
His performance throughout the tournament was described as clutch. Only conceded 3 goals up to this point.
Phenomenal record. And Fluminense overall, defensively, just 6 goals conceded in their last 10 matches before this one.
That's seriously impressive.
And 5 of those 6 were against teams playing with 2 stripers, which usually stretches the defense more. It just shows how organized they are.
And Fabio made that crucial save too, didn't he, against Koulibaly?
Yes, Koulibaly, who's a massive aerial threat, powerful header, looked destined for the net.
A goal Al Hilal desperately needed at that point.
Absolutely, but Fabio pulls off this fantastic dive save, a real savior moment for Fluminense. It kept them ahead.
Imagine being 44, the linchpin, making saves like that in such a high-stakes game. What does that say to you?
It's just remarkable longevity. But it's not just about saves. At that age, it's about experience, reading the game, positioning. He probably anticipates things younger keepers don't even see developing, like a chess master.
Brings a calmness too, I bet.
Definitely. Invaluable for that defense. He's an anomaly, but what a story.
Okay, second half. Al Hilal needed a response, and they got one. They found the equalizer.
Yep, gave their fans something to cheer about.
The Brazilian, Alanaldo, gets the goal. Good delivery into the box from Ruben Neves, actually.
Still contributing despite everything.
Koulibaly wins the first header, causes some chaos. And Fluminense's defending, just for a moment, wasn't quite tight enough.
Yeah, left Alanaldo just enough space.
And he took it well, lifted the ball over the keeper, composed finish, game on again.
Renewed hope for Al Hilal.
But Fluminense, they just seemed to have this resilience. They found another gear, delivered the decisive blow.
And it was the substitute, Hercules, who made the difference again.
Just like he did against Inter. Came off the bench, made a huge impact.
Exactly. Showed his value. The goal itself, it started with Koulibaly trying to drive forward for Al Hilal.
Right, trying to make something happen.
But Hercules presses brilliantly, wins the ball back, high up the pitch. Relentless effort.
That pressing is key to Fluminense's game too, isn't it?
Absolutely. Win it back quickly in the opposition half. He then has a shot from distance. It gets deflected. Fluminense recover it out on the right. And then Hercules makes a great run, receives a fantastic first-time pass into the box.
And finishes it well.
Good finish, clinical, puts Fluminense back in front. Just a really well-worked goal, starting from that initial hard work to win the ball back.
Showcase their whole approach, really.
Yeah.
Effort, pressing, quick transition, clinical finish.
Perfectly. And testament to the coach making the right change at the right time.
So Fluminense lead again, And in those final minutes, Al Hilal threw everything at them, didn't they?
Desperation time. Pushing hard, earning lots of corners, launching balls into the box.
But that Fluminense defense, they just held firm.
Incredible resolve. This connects right back to their core strengths we talked about. It wasn't just about the goals scored, it was that defensive masterclass under pressure.
Tremendous defense, great mentality.
Exactly. They retreated into that low block, stayed compact, stayed disciplined. Huge credit to the coach, Gosala, for that organization. Even the attackers were dropping back, doing their defensive duties. Total team effort.
They really are a tough nut to crack. Only 3 goals conceded in the whole tournament.
Just incredible. And anchored by the unbelievable story of Fabio, the 44-year-old keeper, seeing them through right to the end.
What a deep dive this has been. Fluminense, they march on to the semifinals. A victory built on tactical discipline, grit, and those key moments.
A deserved win based on their game plan and execution.
And Al Hilal, well, despite the loss, they go back having written a really good story themselves, haven't they? That city win challenging Real Madrid, they showed their quality.
Definitely. They proved they belong on that stage. A strong tournament for them overall, despite the painful end.
So, looking back at all this, beyond the tactics, beyond the score, what does this really tell us about resilience? Both emotional, dealing with tragedy, and tactical, sticking to your plan under pressure.
That's the core of it, isn't it? It highlights the extraordinary mental and emotional strength required at this elite level. It's not just about skill.
Absolutely. What stands out to you the most about how these players, these teams navigated everything, that blend of raw emotion and disciplined performance? It really makes you think about what goes on beneath the surface in every single match.